bonus episode of Arid this week. How exciting! Those of you who follow this channel closely would have seen me digging up my succulent veggie patch the other day to quite incredible results. Well, today I'm going to be putting some new plants into the same space, winter growing plants. But you're going to notice it's going to be a little bit more raw, a little bit more unfiltered, a bit more unedited. That's because this is not Arid proper. This is an episode of The Desert Underground, the bonus content that I'm putting out on my Patreon every single week to those people who subscribe. So if you find this interesting, stick around to the end of the video and there'll be a link to show you how you can get involved and just the sorts of cool stuff that you do receive for being a member. Welcome back to the Desert Underground, episode number 6, the Patreon only content of Arid. You might have seen lately I dug up some plants out of this veggie patch which did insanely well. Well, it's autumn now, and so those plants, they've gone into the greenhouse to have a nice winter rest. And I'm not going to let this space go to waste. I'm going to plant some winter growing plants in here, I guess, to repeat the experiment, to really get a sense of just how well different things grow. Now, everything that went in here last time, they were succulent cucurbits. There was the Trichomeriopsis diversifolia, the Cephalopentandra echyriza, and the Dendrosychios socotrana. Trying a real mix of different things this time, just to get a sense of how they go. And it'll be really interesting, I think, to compare the sizes of these plants pre-experiment with post-experiment, and of course, indeed, that is if they survive. So let me tell you about what's going in here. Like I said, real variety of things. The first two plants I've got here are Euphorbia balsamifera. These are kind of a shrubby euphorbia, cordiciform, like sort of speaking. They grow in the Canary Islands. Really interesting, almost bonsai-like form if you get them going. So they're going to go in there. You can see this one is awake. This one just emerging from dormancy. I've got Dioscorea elephantipes, which is back into happy growth. This was one that I am well aware of the fact that it'll do quite well if it goes into the ground. I'm interested to see just how well that'll be. What else we got here? A tiny, let me get closer and show you. Tiny little baby seedling of Othonnas herrii. I have some bigger Othonnas herrii, which I don't really want to risk, but this one I'm interested to see if it gets supercharged by this process or if it if it doesn't quite make it. Little bundle, I think I've got 9 of them. These are seedlings as well. These are called Pachycormus discolor. It's a pachycol tree from, I believe, Baja California in Mexico. As you can see, these aren't yet anywhere near being trees, but they're what you call opportunistic. They grow when they get water, I'm led to believe. And I've had a suggestion on Instagram from someone that I should be giving these bad boys a try in the ground. I have 2 pots of these seedlings, so I'm going to put one of these pots in here, and that'll give me a really good comparison to see how they compare against the ones that are going to be in my winter greenhouse. So that'll be interesting. And the last little collection of plants that are going in here are some cordiciform Pelargoniums. These are Pelargonium triste, and so they grow with this thick underground cortex, which you can see has started to develop here, and they have leaves emerging above the soil line, but in time you can raise the cortex like you can with so many of these plants as kind of a fantastic display. So a little bit like those cucurbits that I planted, I'll be interested, really interested to see the cortex development in the ground, again compared against some of the other ones that I have in the greenhouse over there. Now the thing about Pelargoniums is that they are one of the prime species that I find that rats like to chew on. One of the main reasons why I built that greenhouse over there was to protect a lot of my winter growing plants from the gnawing teeth of visiting rats. I haven't had too much of a rat problem lately, but you just never know. So these are really running a risk coming out here just exposed to the world because, you know, rat gets into them, see you later. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. So what we're going to be doing, unsurprisingly, is digging them into these into this veggie patch, and that'll give me a good starting point, I suppose, to compare them against when I dig them out of the ground. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the videoing for a moment. I'm going to take some close-up shots that I'll be able to use as a reference point, because, you know, what's the point of doing this experiment if I don't know how big they were to start off with, and I'm too lazy to get out a tape measure or a ruler right now and actually have a look at them and note anything down. This is all very informal stuff. So get some close-up shots of them, which I'll include in this video, and then into the ground we go, and then it's just a matter of 6 months or so of observation, and hopefully they don't all just pack it in. Here we go. Now you're just going to have to imagine the look of unrivaled excitement that's on my face as I do this, because I think you'd probably rather see what's going on in the veggie patch. I've pre-dug some holes for convenience here, and I've laid some plants out in where I think they're going to go. So now it's just a matter of backfilling, and off we go. So Pachycormus are going in a row along the back here. There's actually 7 of them, and I'm going to make sure their swollen root system is going to be buried. That's how they were before transplanting them, and we want to enable any of that sort of growth to continue without interruption. You know, you raise it up when they're this size, it's just going to slow it down, and they're going to have to put their energy into fattening up their roots deeper down later on anyway. So it's going in here. Now I don't actually know that much about Pachycormus, other than that they have a really very interesting look when they're mature, so I'm quite excited to see how they grow. Alright, so we've got 7 Pachycormus along the back here. Oh, hang on, what's this? I found another one. 8! Magic. Tiny little one. It can just go in a little hole there. Almost lost it because it was dormant. Okay, then next up, Dioscorea. Well, not all the dirt, but a lot of the dirt's off the roots. Conveniently using the little wire that I used to hold the Dendrosicyos in place against the wind as a bit of a trellis for the vine on this plant, so as to keep the wire out of the way. Hopefully that'll make that happy. I'll just drape that over there for now. It'll sort itself out. It'll figure out what it wants to do. Now, I learned planting out this thing the first time is that the taller plants kind of need to go in the middle. Hence the Dendrosicyos. And so we'll put that Euphorbia balsamifera there, and this one here. These are really weird kind of plants. I had to discover for myself that they grow in the winter time. When I first planted them as seedlings, they came up in the summer, and I thought, okay, summer growing, winter dormant. But then they kind of flipped on their head as time progressed. So now I'm aware of the fact that they quite happily grow over the winter. They emerge from their dormancy around about now. Othonnas is going in just here, little tiny one. We'll see how that goes. And then we've got our 4 Pelargoniums that are going to round out the front, be a bit of a vanguard against invading rats. Alright, there's 1. There's 2. 3. I did have some questions about the composition of the soil that I used in this veggie patch. It's essentially just a replication almost of my usual potting soils, a bit more organic. Reason being that, you know, when you've got soil in pots, the artificial nature of the pot itself retains a lot more moisture, whereas being open to the ground here, drainage is far less of an issue. It just kind of drains into the ground, and everything carries on. So there we go. Once again, beautiful dirty fingers. I'm very happy about that. And I reckon in 6 months' time it'll be an opportunity to check back on these and see how they're progressing. Hopefully they're not all dead. And so that's the Desert Underground episode number 5. I hope you've enjoyed it for today. There's a good chance that this one will go up on the YouTube channel proper, probably in a few weeks' time, just as a means of introducing a broader audience to the offerings on the Patreon. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the exclusivity of it, and once again, I am always incredibly thankful of your support. It means the world to me, and I can't wait until you get those zines and crack them open, because they are on their way, and they're a labour of love, so I hope that's reflected in what you see before you. That's it. I'll see you next time. So that was actually episode 6 of the Desert Underground. Just a bit of a taster of the stuff that's going out every single week to those subscribers on the Patreon. Another cool feature of the Patreon is this, the Arid-Zine zine. I've had a lot of people asking me, is it still available? Yeah, absolutely it's still available. It's going to be available all the way up until when Volume 2 comes out in the springtime in Australia. Pretty cool, full of my random art, rambling thoughts on growing plants, some cool stuff. There's even the opportunity to get some packets of seeds in this thing. And yeah, a bit of a passion project, something that I think you guys might find interesting. So the link's on the screen. You're more than welcome to check it out. If you don't want to, also totally fine, I completely get it. But you know, this whole Arid-Zine thing is a project from the heart. I love doing it, and with your support I can keep dedicating my time, because juggling this and full-time work is quite a difficult proposition, as I'm sure you can imagine. So thank you, no matter what you choose to do. If you just want to watch or subscribe or whatever it might be, I really appreciate everything. But for now, I'm going to start working on the next Arid-Zine video proper.